What is happening, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. This is your SmackDown review for February 17th, 2022, or 23 rather, the go-home show, the final stop before tomorrow night's Elimination Chamber event from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This show was actually really, no, it wasn't the best SmackDown. It was an okay episode of SmackDown. We had a tease of what Bray Wyatt is going to be doing come WrestleMania. We also find out what's happening with a lot of the stuff that's happening. We've seen some little more build towards the Women's Elimination Chamber match. We've seen Ronda Rousey get booed out of the building, buried by Montreal, basically, which was fucking hilarious. We've seen Shit Row get the shit kicked out of him. It was funny. We seen in a really, really, really fun tag match between the Usos, the Viking Raiders taking on Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. That was a really, really good match. Asuka and Liv Morgan was fine. Madcap Moss is fucking terrible. Get him off my TV screen. And we got an incredible moment with Sami Zayn that's not going to be taking place tomorrow night. I'll talk about that much more. If you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. Follow the social medias. Misfit Podcast TV on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, Misfit Wrestling Podcast on the Facebook. Right here on youtube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Follow the other social media outlets. Not the social media outlets, the audio outlets known as Spotify, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and Pandora. We are doing some good stuff over there. This is episode 53, I believe, here. I'm sorry I didn't get to do... I was going to get back to doing AEW Dynamite, but I just didn't think AEW Dynamite was a great show. And I don't think it really deserved to be reviewed. If there's a show that I don't like, I'm probably not going to review it. That's how it is. I am starting to feel a little bit better, though. But, yeah, let's talk about SmackDown. SmackDown, again, was a fine episode. Before we get to SmackDown, though, there's some news came out about Kenneth Omega. His contract is up very, very soon. Or if his contract isn't up already. There is interest from WWE, it seems. And it sounds like Kenny Omega is probably going to stay with AEW. I don't see him going anywhere. They did set up the Elite versus House of Black for Rampage, for the Revolution pay-per-view on Rampage. I didn't watch Rampage, but I knew that was happening because I saw the spoilers. But there's that. We also have tomorrow night with Battle in the Valley, and the more wrinkle into the plans of Jay White. What's next with Jay White now? The match with Eddie Kingston is now a loser leaves Japan, a New Japan match. The loser can no longer wrestle for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I will talk about that. I will actually do some predictions for that show. I will also put in the Elimination Chamber predictions here as well. Just to throw that in there too, because I meant to do this last night, but I forgot about it. So I'm going to put in the Elimination Chamber predictions here as well. SmackDown opened with the women's tag team match. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defeated Natalya and Shotzi Blackheart. This was not a very good match at all. Shotzi, I like Shotzi. She's an alright wrestler. I can't really stand Natalya. Ronda Rousey's stock has fallen. She's just phoning it in now. The 2018 Ronda Rousey is still my favorite version of Ronda Rousey. I love Shayna Baszler. She needs to be used more, and she's underutilized as well. But Ronda locked in the armbar on Shotzi for the win. Crowd was chanting, "You can't wrestle" to Ronda Rousey, which was funny. And yeah, it was meh. The Roman match still is from what I understanding, is still going to be Damage Control taking on or defending the women's tag team titles against Shayna and Ronda. I don't know what's going to happen with the Lita and Trish Stratus thing, but we'll find that out either tomorrow night or on Monday. Because after Elimination Chamber, Monday is you guys start building the rest of the stuff for WrestleMania. So throughout the night, we've seen the video packages of what led up to the moment of Sami Zayn turning on the Bloodline. Which tells me again they did the same thing with Drew McIntyre back at Clash of the Castle. They kept doing for a few weeks. It was like every week, or it was either every week or it was on that SmackDown Go Home show before Clash of the Castle, where they kept playing a promo about McIntyre's climb to the top title. It does look like McIntyre and made us think that McIntyre was winning. So based on that, Sami Zayn's still not winning tomorrow. I'll get to that in a little bit. Shit Row comes out, tries to rap, and no one gives a shit. Montreal didn't give a fuck. Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy murder Hit Row. It was great. Crowd chanted, "Thank you, Bray." Bray said, "You're welcome." Now here's an interesting part. This was actually very, very interesting because I didn't see this coming. Bray gets on the mic and says that he has control of himself and his family again, and says that whoever wins out of Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar tomorrow at Elimination Chamber, you should run. So it looks like it's going to be either Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar or Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley, or it might be a triple threat match. I don't know how they're going to pull this off, but we do have some type of direction now for Bray Wyatt going into WrestleMania. We've talked about for weeks, or a few months now, what is Bray Wyatt going to do at WrestleMania? We have our answer now, so that was a little interesting. We got a video package recapping the Fatal 4-Way number one contenders match for the match from last week, which was the Intercontinental title match, 4-Way. And then we got a really good match, a really, really fun match here. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus defeated the Viking Raiders. This is probably the best the Viking Raiders have looked since coming back. The crowd was hot for this match, but Sheamus hits the bro kick on Ivar, and Drew hits the Claymore kick on Eric for the win. This was actually a really, really, really good tag team match. But the stage is going to be set probably next week for the eventual triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship between Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew McIntyre. Next up, Asuka comes to the ring for her match with Liv Morgan. Carmella is out here for some reason talking smack. Nikki Cross is just doing Nikki Cross stuff at the commentary table. Raquel Rodriguez, who came out to no reaction, did whatever she does, did whatever, and Asuka wins with a arm shoulder submission. I don't know what she's going to call that, but Asuka wins after the match. Carmella hits Asuka with a super kick. Now Natalya decides to get involved and levels Carmella with the discus lariat. Nikki Cross hits the purge on Natalya. Rodriguez takes out Cross with the Texina, the Hita bomb, whatever you want to call it. Morgan hits a code breaker on to Raquel, and Asuka follows it up with a kick to Liv's head, leaving Morgan and Asuka hits Raquel in the head with the kick to the head, leaving Morgan and Asuka alone in the ring. They stare down. Liv Morgan leaves, and Asuka's the only one in the ring. Asuka should win tomorrow. I'll get to that when we get to the predictions for the Elimination Chamber. I also want to mention, I forgot to bring this up here. Rey Mysterio had a backstage interview with talking about the whole thing with Santos Escobar last week, which was pretty cool. Mysterio talks about how what's the word like for how special that moment is. Cross and Scarlet interrupted, and they apparently are doing that match again. Why? I have no fucking idea. Next up, we had Gunther defeating Madcap Moss for to retain the Intercontinental Championship. This match was not very good. Madcap Moss sucks. Montreal was all for Gunther. But Gunther hits the power bomb for the win. I love how Gunther's winning match was just regular moves. Great to see. Main event segment. Sami Zayn comes out to Worlds Apart. Crowd goes apeshit. For at least was it? I'm assuming he was given like 8 minutes or whatever. But he didn't get 8 minutes. He almost for the first, I'm gonna say 2 to 3 minutes. Crowd was chanting Sami Zayn, ole ole ole, fuck you Roman, things like that. Sami teared up a little bit. Sami said that WrestleMania, everyone points to the WrestleMania sign every year because it's the most important show of the year, and it is. But Elimination Chamber is the most important event of his career. He says that tomorrow night isn't just Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. It's Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn in the entire city of Montreal, and come tomorrow night, Roman is going down. Massive pop. That's how the show goes off the air. The reason they did that segment here tonight without anyone getting involved, letting him have his moment, is because they're not getting it tomorrow night. That's what's happening. Tomorrow night, which is the Elimination Chamber. We're going to talk about that right now. We're going to go through the card here. Elimination Chamber. Got 2 Elimination Chamber matches. We have 2 singles matches and a mixed tag match. We'll talk about them. We'll start with the mixed tag match first. Edge and Beth Phoenix taking on Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley should not be losing on the road to WrestleMania. So, I would actually, have this whole show be, you know what? I thought about it originally. If you're going to give Montreal a feel-good moment for any of your Canadians, have Edge and Beth Phoenix win by Edge pinning Finn Balor to set up that rematch for Finn Balor and Edge at WrestleMania, while keeping Rhea Ripley looking strong for her match with Charlotte Flair. That is my prediction on that. But Rhea Ripley should not be taking the pinfall, nor should Rhea Ripley be losing from now to WrestleMania. Not even at WrestleMania. She should absolutely beat Charlotte at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. I don't know. Originally I did have it where this match does not get started, and then we go on to the actual rematch at WrestleMania, but the whole Bray Wyatt thing kind of threw me into the loop, so I don't know with that one. To me, the bigger WrestleMania match is Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar. However, if there was ever a time to start the Bray Wyatt, or not Bray Wyatt, the Bray Wyatt faction that's been rumored for months, doing it against the Hurt Business is probably the best way to start. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do here. Because I really don't want to see Brock and Bobby again at WrestleMania. So I'm gonna go with Brock Lesnar again, just to get that over with here. We got the United States Championship Elimination Chamber match. Austin Theory defends against Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, and Montez Ford. I am ruling out Bronson Reed and Montez Ford winning here. Montez Ford is kind of a star-making performance, obviously, because Montez Ford is great. Bronson Reed, I think, they're gonna finally show. Bronson's finally gonna show what he can actually do. So far, he hasn't been able to. He's not been on television very much. People pop for the Tsunami Splash, but that's about it. Hopefully, I do think the fans will take a liking to Bronson Reed once he gets his momentum and his wheels spinning and all that stuff. Johnny Gargano. I love Johnny Gargano. I wouldn't mind seeing Gargano win the United States Championship, but I don't think he needs it right now. Well, I mean, he needs something that isn't with Dexter Lumis. I really do think they're just waiting on Tommaso Ciampa to come back because I think Ciampa getting hurt and taking time off to get that hip surgery really, really stopped whatever they had plans for Gargano. That's just how I feel about that. Seth Rollins, as much as we'd love to see Seth Rollins win this match, Seth Rollins is going to lose probably by somehow, some type of interference with Logan Paul, somehow set up that match with WrestleMania. But Austin Theory is winning the Elimination Chamber, retaining the United States Championship, and going on to WrestleMania to face what the fuck is his name? John Cena for the United States Championship. And probably lose the Cena. But that's we'll talk about that when we get to WrestleMania. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Austin Theory to retain. The women's elimination chamber match, the winner gets a shot at Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Asuka, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, Natalya, and Carmella. So I'm going to tell you right off the bat, Raquel Rodriguez, Natalya, Nikki Cross, and Carmella are not winning this match. Liv Morgan might have a little small chance. However, it's going to be Asuka. It should be Asuka who goes away with the win here. Asuka should have the Shayna Baszler moment here, but I would not have her come in at like number 4 or whatever fucking number Shayna came in that one year. Actually, I would have Asuka come in last, and be the last person to enter from the pod while everyone's doing their thing, and Asuka just takes everyone out, and then Asuka wins, goes to WrestleMania, and beats Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. So I'm gonna go with Asuka. Asuka, like I said, is the only option here, and really, if we're talking about WrestleMania worthy matches, I'm sorry, but Raquel Rodriguez versus Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan versus Bianca Belair does not scream WrestleMania to me. Asuka versus Bianca Belair screams WrestleMania for me. And this whole revamped thing of Asuka, you're not going to have her revamp this entire character for her and then have her lose the Elimination Chamber match, or have her win the Elimination Chamber match and then just have her lose at WrestleMania. Triple H is not that stupid. That Vince would have done that, but Triple H, no. Main event. Roman Reigns defends the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against hometown hero Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, folks, is not winning the championship. Get that out of your heads. It's not happening. Sami Zayn is not being added to the Cody Rhodes match at WrestleMania. You really, guys, we really, really want them to sabotage Cody Rhodes that badly, don't you? They haven't sabotaged Cody Rhodes yet. The people saying that they have are the people wanting it to be so they can have Sami in the fucking main event just to have a pop. A cheap pop for Sami Zayn just to win the championship is not the way to do things. The story has never been about Sami Zayn and the title. The story has never been about Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. The story has been about Sami Zayn, the Usos, and Kevin Owens. Why has it been about those 3? Or why has it been about those 4? Well, when Sami Zayn was first introduced into this Bloodline story, Kevin Owens was the one that said, they don't even like you. They're going to turn on you at some point. And if I was you, I would turn on them before they turn on you. That's exactly what Kevin Owens said. And Kevin Owens was right. So what's going to happen here is now the rumor is, for a while, we were worried, we were curious of how they're going to pull the storyline off, because originally Jimmy Uso was not allowed to be in Canada due to his DUI charges. Jey Uso was allowed to be in Canada, but since then, it has been reported that the Usos are a go for this storyline to finish it, to progress. What's going to happen here? We're going to have a ref bump. We're going to have the Drew McIntyre moment from Clash of the Castle. And, we'll have the visual pin on Roman Reigns from Sami Zayn, but the referee will have been out. Referee bump right there. The Usos are going to come down to the ring. They think that Jey Uso is going to help Sami Zayn, and he's going to kick Sami in the face. The crowd is going to boo the hell out of the Bloodline. Roman Reigns is going to get the victory because of the Usos. They're gonna, and after the match, the Usos are gonna, and Roman, the Usos, and Solo is gonna start beating down Sami. Out comes not Roman Reigns. Out comes Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is gonna make the save, make the massive pop, save his friend. They're gonna embrace, and they're gonna challenge the Usos at WrestleMania for the tag titles on the following week. It's how it's gonna work. This has been the story from day one. Stay the course. And for the people who said that this is a step down, I'm sorry, but winning the tag team titles, a title that you've been wanting to win with your best friend, and winning them at WrestleMania is not a step down. That is a special moment for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Hey, you're going to want to get rid of that just for a cheap pop for Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn is not Daniel Bryan. This is not 2014. Cody Rhodes is not Batista. I'm sorry. This is not the same thing. Daniel Bryan was never supposed to get that main event spot at WrestleMania. He only got that spot because CM Punk walked out. And they had to have a new direction for the show. Kofi Mania was never supposed to happen. Kofi Mania only happened because Mustafa Ali got hurt. At Mustafa Ali got hurt, that match at WrestleMania 35 was going to be Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan. Had CM Punk not walked out, Daniel Bryan would have been on the pre-show again with Sheamus. And the main event would have still been Batista versus Randy Orton. It's not the same story. This is not the same. And to those who are saying, well, Triple H wouldn't do that. I'm like, Triple H would. It would add Sami to the match. Triple H is not going to do that because he knows it doesn't make sense for the storyline. He knows the storyline is Sami Zayn and the Usos versus Kevin Owens. He knows the storyline. It's not about Roman Reigns. And the main event of night one for WrestleMania should be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens winning the tag titles from the Usos. And then on night two, Cody Rhodes should in fact beat Roman Reigns for the world title. And then you have the bloodline just dissipates after that. The crescendo, the end of the bloodline is coming at WrestleMania. You cannot have the end of the bloodline story happen with two of the biggest baby faces in the same match. Because if you do that, what does the Usos do at WrestleMania? What does Kevin Owens do at WrestleMania? Having Kevin Owens go from wrestling Stone Cold last year to not having him on the show because you want Sami Zayn to get a cheap pop for a world title that he's not gonna hold past WrestleMania Backlash. Do you guys not remember the last time Triple H put a world title on him? He only held the championship to put it on Kevin Owens 65 days after winning it. I mean, you guys say they put the NXT title on him. You even remember his title reign was not that memorable because it was not meant to be. It was meant to be so they could put it on Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens' title reign was way more memorable because it was meant to be put on Kevin Owens, which was then set up to be put on Finn Balor. But yeah, that's exactly what's there it is. Roman Reigns is gonna win with the help of the Bloodline, and that's how that is going to happen there. Let's talk about Battle in the Valley. It's coming out tomorrow night as well. New Japan show in the United States. So let's talk about out here Battle in the Valley from San Jose, California. Which I believe is going to be on at somewhere around the same time. Sometime after either while the show is on the air or after Elimination. I don't know how they're going to do this. They didn't bring up the card. The main event is going to be Hiroshi Tanahashi challenging Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP World Championship. Here's the other matches on the show. We have Dorada, Josh Alexander, and Adrian Quest, and Rocky Romero taking on Kushida, Ballador Jr., and Kevin Knight and the DKC in an 8-man tag team match. I like Kushida. I like Rocky Romero. I love Josh Alexander. So that should be a fun match. Fred Rosser, who formerly known as Darren Young in WWE, will be defending his strong open weight championship against Kenta. Kenta's great. So maybe Kenta will win that match. Who knows? Motor City Machine Guns defend the strong open weight tag team titles against West Coast Reckoning. That should be fun. Motor City Machine Guns is great. I love me some Motor City Machine Guns. Switchblade Jay White, Eddie Kingston loser leaves New Japan match. If Eddie Kingston loses, he'll need Jay White's permission to continue to compete in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Jay White is losing here. I think this is the end of Switchblade Jay White, and I do believe that man is on his way to World Wrestling Entertainment. He's not going to AEW because everybody's saying this like, well, he's just going to go to AEW. I'm like, why would he go to the same company that that has a working relationship with the company that he's not allowed to appear in per the rules of his loser leaves Japan, loser leaves New Japan stipulation. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Plus, when he was in New Japan, he could have just shown up in AEW whenever he wants. Jay White's putting over Eddie Kingston on his way out, and Jay White is going on to WWE. And if I was booking his debut, there's two things that you could do. And I said this I think I said this on the Raw review. I'm not sure if I did. But if AJ Styles is good to go in time for WrestleMania, give him a mystery opponent, give him an open challenge on either night of WrestleMania, night 1 or night 2, whichever one it's fine by me. And the person that answers his challenge is Jay White. And there you have a WrestleMania match set for AJ Styles if AJ Styles is good to go on that show. If not, after Cody wins the title the night after WrestleMania, you'll have this huge crowd of wrestling fans, smart mark crowd there, and you will have the debut of Jay White, showing up, and let it be known that he's here to take over, and he wants Cody Rhodes to watch his back and everybody else in WWE. So I think Jay White I think Jay White's going to be fine in WWE. I know a lot of people are worried that WWE is going to ruin Jay White. I don't think so. If they've been after him for years, if Triple H has been after this man for years, he's not gonna ruin Jay White. I think Jay White's gonna have the Cody Rhodes deal here. What I mean by that is, uh, that Cody Rhodes' agreement to come into WWE, he had to come back to WWE. He didn't want it to be changed back to Stardust. He didn't want to be smoke and mirrors. He wanted to remain AEW's American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And I think Jay White's going to have that same treatment, that he's going to come over. He's going to be allowed to be New Japan Pro Wrestling Switchblade Jay White. And it's Triple H. Triple H brought in Shinsuke Nakamura. And when he did, he kept showing Shinsuke Nakamura, the Shinsuke Nakamura from New Japan. He didn't change a thing about Nakamura. So we'll see what happens there. That's a match I am very, very looking forward to. But mainly for the outcome of the match. Tom Lawler, Homicide, Filthy Rules match. I have no idea what that is. I'm assuming that's a no disqualification match. Tom Lawler wins, I guess. Homicide's getting up there in age. Homicide's great, though. Don't get me wrong. Zack Sabre Jr. Defends the New Japan Pro Wrestling's World Television Championship against Clark Connors. No reason Clark Connors should win the title here. Zack Sabre Jr. Had just won the title back at Wrestle Kingdom. I believe he defeated, who did he defeat? Rin Narita, sorry. So I think Zack Sabre Jr. is going to go on a lengthy run with that championship, and hopefully he comes over to AEW, fights his way over to AEW or whatnot, to do that match with Bryan Danielson that we desperately need here. The co-main event, the match that's not going to last, whether Sasha Banks stands and want to admit it or not. Kairi Hojo defends the IWGP Women's Championship against Mercedes Moné. In a perfect world, Kairi Sane should not be losing this championship. She literally just won the title and has only had one title defense. This is the problem I have with New Japan having exclusive rights to have championship title defenses for this title. Because Kairi's not been able to defend the title on Stardom shows. It's kind of fucked up. I think they're not going to go I don't think they're going to go the 60-minute time limit. I think that Kairi is going to win the title. I think Kairi is going to retain the championship. They also kind of left room open for a rematch down the line for Utami Hayashishita with Kairi and some other ones. It's just what I think it is, and I think there's room for other matches for Kairi to do outside of Utami. You can have Kairi be challenged by Micah, or maybe Himeka before she decides to hang it up, because she's going to be retiring in April. So who knows? But I think Kairi's going to retain the championship here. Kazuchika Okada defending the IWGP World Championship against Hiroshi Tanahashi. People complain that this match was on last. It's fucking Okada versus Tanahashi. It's their version of Rock and Austin. It was always going to go on last. It was this match was never what Okada was going to be on the show, regardless of who else was on the show. Okada was going to go on last, and Okada is going to retain here. And I think they're going to fit it. They're going to somehow weave into the Noah show that's coming up, which is going to be Muda's last match. His retirement show that's coming up next weekend, I think it is, or sometime. I think it's next Thursday. I could be wrong, but which is going to set up Okada versus who the fuck is the champion over there? Why am I forgetting this dude's name here? Kaito Kiyomiya. Koyami? Koyama. I think it's. I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but he's going to be facing Okada at the retirement show for Muda. But yeah, that's Battle in the Valley and the predictions for that show and the show for WWE Elimination Chamber. Both shows should be good. I don't know how I'm gonna watch both shows. I'm gonna probably have one on. But my main focus is gonna be on the Elimination Chamber, because that show is gonna set up the stuff for WrestleMania and all of that stuff here. But yeah, if you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff, do all that, follow the social medias. Links that usually are in the link down in the description of the video version of this, and all the other audio outlets as well. I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I will see you back here for tomorrow night for Elimination Chamber. And hopefully a lot of crying fans that I cannot wait to laugh in their face about, who think they know how to run a wrestling company when they don't use their brains. Until then, I will see you guys tomorrow night. We're out.